Hey, what's up guys? Rob here from Movie Review Time, and I'm back with another top 10 video. My good buddy Sean Erschen over at the Horror Corner did his top 10 favorite Stephen King movie adaptations. Now, I've done a video like this before where I talked about my top 10, but it was a while ago. And my opinions have kind of changed on some of these movies. But when it comes to Stephen King movies or miniseries, I like probably 95% of them. I don't know. There's a couple that I have here that I'm going to talk about that I don't really care for. But other than that, like, a lot of these I can watch and enjoy. So I got my top 10. I got some that I don't really care for, and I got my honorable mentions here, and I got some that I didn't bring up here with me, or that I don't have out here, so I will mention those. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. Let's go over the honorable mentions. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about these. I just want to mention them. Now, here's a cool 4-pack. And I like all the movies on this 4-pack. This is a Stephen King 4-pack with Dreamcatcher. You got Dolores Claiborne. You got Cat's Eye with Drew Barrymore. And Creepshow. And I like all these. Here's the thing. Dreamcatcher used to bore me. When I first seen Dreamcatcher, I did not like it. After a couple more viewings, I really got into the movie and, got into the story. And yeah, I like it now. And I know a lot of people don't really care for that one. But, yeah. My favorite one out of this group, though, is probably Creepshow. Of course, we got Cujo with Dee Wallace. This should have made my top 10, but it didn't, because of the ones I have, in my top 10 are just so good. Of course, how can I forget Salem's Lot? Here we have The Night Flyer. Here we have Apt Pupil. This was a bitch to find. I mean, this DVD is like rare. It is so rare, and if you try to get this on Blu-ray, it's so expensive. But really good movie. Now here's one that most people hate, okay? And for me, it's a guilty pleasure. I just love the story. I love Jimmy Smits, Marge Helgenberger, and even, it has Tracy Lords, the porn star, in this. When she looked good. The Tommy Knockers. Tommy Knockers, Tommy Knockers knocking at the door. I don't know where people go when they stop being here. I don't know where they go when they stop being here. They call it Big Engine Woods. Shut up, Grandpa. You can't run, you can't hide, you can only become one of them. So when you start pulling your teeth out and your skin starts to go like this, you know you're becoming. You're becoming. I like this. It's I don't know, it's very cheesy, but I like the characters. Here we have Stephen King's Riding the Bullet. Here we have Storm of the Century. Here we have Sometimes They Come Back. Here's a good one. Silver Bullet. A really good one. Thinner. Great story. Here's one that some people don't really care for, but I don't mind this one. Sleepwalkers. Another Drew Barrymore one. Firestarter. The thing about Firestarter, like, I'm trying to figure out if I like Cat's Eye or Firestarter better. I'm going to say Firestarter. I do like Cat's Eye, though. Now, here's one that I used to not really care for, and now I do like it, and that is Rose Red, and I know a lot of people don't care for this as well. But I think this movie, or this miniseries, is actually creepy, so. Then we have Graveyard Shift, and then there's a couple that I don't have out here, like Christine, Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, It 2017, the remake. I can't say the same thing for It Chapter 2 because I did not like It Chapter 2. Didn't care for it. But anyway, here's a couple that I don't really care for, and that is Stephen King's The Shining, the TV miniseries. Take your medicine, you damn pup! No, Tony. No, Tony. No, Tony. Come on. This is the Stephen King is on record saying he doesn't like the Kubrick version. So you prefer this? What is this? I prefer the axe to the croquet mallet. I prefer the woman in the bathtub from the Kubrick version over the woman in the bathtub from this version. I prefer Danny in the Kubrick version over Danny in this one. Everything. In this miniseries, they talk about the boiler. The boiler of the hotel. They spend like all these scenes on concentrating on the boiler. If you don't tend to the boiler, something bad's going to happen. It's going to blow up. Something bad's going to happen. They just kind of shade over that in the movie. It wasn't a big deal. But they make it a big freaking deal in this miniseries. The boiler, the boiler, the boiler, the boiler. The ghosts weren't even scary in this. Nothing was. I didn't even think the Overlook Hotel was scary. Nothing was scary in this. I mean, the only thing good about it is Rebecca De Mornay in her lingerie or her nightgown. That's the only good thing. Risky business all over again. Another one I can't really stand with Ron Perlman is Desperation, where he acts psychotic. He's like this being that acts like a cop. He says the stupidest stuff. I think Tom Skerritt's actually in this. Yes, he is. Steven Weber's in this. Henry Thomas. And it was directed by Mick Garris, and I think Mick Garris was the one who did The Stand, and I really like The Stand. I don't understand it. That's the movie. And then we had The Langoliers, which is the cheesiest one I've ever seen out of all these. The creatures in this, these blob-looking things that go like this, they look like a fifth grader drew it. I don't understand what is going on. I mean, some of the story's okay. I think you got Balky from Perfect Strangers in this. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't care for it. Anyway, those are a couple. You know, there are probably more that I didn't mention, but those are just the ones I had out here. Now let's get on to my top 10. It's probably pretty easy to guess what my number 1 is. Those of you who know me, pretty much, it's no secret. I mean, Sean, I think, even had it as his number 1. So, all right. So coming in at number 10 is a movie that really surprised me when I first saw it. I wasn't expecting it at all. But great cast and awesome visuals, creepy visuals. And it is 1408 with John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson. Kind of a psychological horror film. You know, he's in this haunted room and like all this, he sees all these ghosts and sees all these things happening, and you start to wonder is he just imagining these things? Is he going nuts? You start to think that he starts seeing things written on the wall and things. It's a creepy freaking film, this movie. I wasn't expecting it to be good at all. But this actually has a cult following. So, yeah, this one really surprised me. I really, really like it. That comes in at number 10. Number 9 is the, one of my favorite Brian De Palma films, and that is the original Carrie with Sissy Spacek and John Travolta. This is one of the most iconic performances in horror history because you have Carrie, this sweet, innocent girl. She gets pig's blood dumped on her at the dance. Everyone's laughing at her. They're all going to laugh at you, and they do. She just goes into this trance like this. And people start dying. She's able to levitate stuff and use her mind to move things. I'd be afraid. She is intimidating when she's just sitting there like, she's just like this. I'm sorry, Chloe Grace Moretz. I know you tried to be Carrie in the remake, but it didn't work. I didn't believe it whatsoever. That's where this one is better. 100% better. This one is, yeah, one of the most iconic. So that comes in at number 9. Number 8 is a very fun movie, and it is Maximum Overdrive with one of my favorite bands of all time, AC/DC. Hell yes. Hell's bells, baby. But it's got Emilio Estevez, one of my favorite actors that doesn't really do anything anymore. And it's got the Green Goblin truck that comes to life, and all the other trucks come to life, and they basically have to fight off these trucks at this gas station. I don't know. It's something different. I remember watching this at a young age, and just thinking it was the coolest thing ever, but I was always afraid of that truck with the Green Goblin. I was always afraid of it. All right, so that's number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Stephen King's The Stand, which is the 4-part miniseries. It's a very, very long one, but this is a character piece. They go over the characters one by one. You got Rob Lowe, Gary Sinise, Molly Ringwald, a fantastic cast. You know, this virus, this flu virus, basically, which is man-made, escapes this compound and starts to infect everybody. And the survivors of the world are basically split in between going to the Dark Man, who's like a demon, and then Mother Abigail, who's part of God. It's like good versus evil. Really, really cool. And like, I like how they focus on each of the characters, and they get their moment, they get their story. Then they come together, and they just, you know, I don't know. It's a long one, and it might even bore some people, but not me. I love this movie, or miniseries. Coming in at number 6 is a movie that kind of disturbed me when I first saw it, because I did not think it would go that far, and that is Children of the Corn with Peter Horton and Linda Hamilton. Peter Horton looks just like Michael Bay in this movie. Honestly, put a picture next to each other of Michael Bay with his long, you know, hair down to here, and then Peter Horton from this movie. They look identical. Identical. They even laugh and talk like each other. Anyway, Linda Hamilton, she pretty much made this film, but, you know, you have Isaac and Malachi who are in charge of these kids who kill the adults right in the beginning. They're sitting there in the cafe, they start killing them, and Isaac's in the window going, he's a creepy dude. Like, he's like this. Like, what the hell, Isaac? Did not give you your lunch money for school? Jesus. No reason to kill everybody. You know, they're in the corn doing rituals. He who walks behind the rose, and Isaac is pretty much in charge of this. It's like a cult of kids. And it goes pretty far. They actually kill these kids. You know, this one kid's trying to escape, and he's in the cornfield, and like, you see blood going everywhere. Yeah, they take it pretty far in this movie, and I love it. I loved it from the very beginning, and yeah, it's just a really, really cool horror film, and it spans like so many sequels. I've lost count, and I don't think any of them even hold a candle to the first one. So that's just my opinion. So that comes in at number 6 for me. All right, so number 5 is Stephen King's The Mist. I love this movie. I love the story. Frank Darabont, you know, he was part of The Walking Dead. There's even some cast here from The Walking Dead, but you got Thomas Jane, one of my favorite actors of all time. The Punisher himself is trapped in a supermarket with a bunch of people because there's this mysterious mist that engulfs the town, and there's these creatures in the mist, and these creatures vary from like little spider things to flying things to big giant dinosaur looking creatures and creatures with tentacles. Just, it's crazy. I love, you know, some people say that the effects were kind of, you know, kind of bad. There was a lot of CGI, but I don't think it was that bad. I thought they were pretty good. The spider scene is one of my favorites, is when they go in the pharmacy and those spider things shoot these webs, and if these webs get around you, it burns through you. Like, the webs burn through you. It's just, it's a gory good time. I really, really like it a lot, and Thomas Jane was perfect for it, and I just like the story. So that's number 5. Coming in at number 4 is, of course, Stephen King's It, the 1990 miniseries, the 2-part miniseries with Tim Curry. But you got a fantastic cast. You got Richard Thomas, Annette O'Toole, Tim Reed, John Ritter, Richard Mazer, Dennis Christopher, Harry Anderson. Fantastic. I like both parts too. I know a lot of people complain about part 2. Well, I just have to say, both parts in this miniseries are better than the new It Chapter 2 that came out, because I could not really stand that movie. I don't know, the casting was okay, but I preferred the first one. I can't, you know, I can say that about part two of this. Part two of this was more entertaining than that. It just went on way too long. I don't know. But I love this as a miniseries. Just so well done. Coming in at number 3 is one of the scariest movies ever made, in my opinion. To this day, I think this movie is creepy, and there's certain scenes that affect me. The original Pet Sematary. This was so well done. All the Zelda stuff. Rachel, never get out of bed again. And this time, I'll get you. Like, just kill me. Gage, sometimes dead is better. You don't want to go down that road, Lewis. You don't want to go down that road, so those trucks come down that road. Sometimes dead is better. I introduce you to the power. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah, Mary Lambert did a fantastic job with this film, and it is awesome. So, coming in at number 2 is a Rob Reiner film, Misery. Kathy Bates, James Caan. Kathy Bates made this film. Even though James Caan was excellent, Kathy Bates, her performance was psychotic, but also unbelievable. The sledgehammer scene where she breaks his ankles is probably one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in cinema. I mean, you hear the bones break and you hear him scream. I've cracked concrete with a sledgehammer before. I can just imagine. I don't even want to imagine, but I can imagine that hitting my ankle. Someone going like this. Man! You cock-a-doodie! You poop! They do not! What do you think when I say when I go in the store, oh, now, Wally, give me some of that effing pea feed and some of that bitchly cow corn? And in the bank, do I go to Mrs. Bollinger and say, this is one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money? There, look there. See what you made me do? Oh, Paul, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sometimes I get so worked up. No shit. No shit. You can see his eyes. He's like, oh, it's okay. Man, this movie's awesome. If you have not seen Misery, you are missing out. This, God, they don't make movies like this anymore. That's number 2. Coming in at number 1 is no surprise. It is a masterpiece in horror, and when it comes to Stephen King based, you know, and like adaptations, this is my favorite, and this is the best. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. I think Stanley Kubrick had a better vision. I think everything is creepy about this film, and you know, Jack Nicholson pretty much made this movie, as well as Shelley Duvall. I'm giving her credit because she was good. But you got Scatman Crothers, Danny Lloyd. You know, like I said, the woman in the bathtub is creepier in this. The music is creepier. It's got one of the best soundtracks ever in horror. I even said it was my favorite theme song. The hotel's creepier. The hedge maze thing is creepy. The twins. I like Danny better in this. Everything about this movie. This is a masterpiece to me. I feel that this is a masterpiece in horror cinema. So, this is my favorite, and I think Sean picked this as well. It is just amazing. If you have not seen The Shining, you are missing out on a piece of horror history, that's for sure. So, there you go. That is my top 10 favorite Stephen King movie adaptations. Just curious to know, what is your top 10 you know, favorite Stephen King movie adaptations. I'd like you to make a response if you want to, or list down in the comments. Of course, this is a response to Sean. Thank you very much for coming up with this and recommending it to me. Stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you guys next time.